This is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio.
WERA 96.7 FM in Arlington. Yo, this is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio. And you know, I got a lyrical cipher for y'all tonight. You know, rappers have ciphers and now poets have diss poems. So let's get it on with a poetic speech cipher mixtape. Watch, watch, watch. Felipe Luciano getting it in. He's got it going on.
Always imitating. Be we doormen, preachers, teachers, or suburbanites, we imitate those who imitate us, who want our hair, our skin, our sex, our dysfunction. They're walking like us now, speaking in accents and cadences, lying in sun boots, crinkling their skin, and buying curling irons to make nappiness and braids fashionable. They ride in limos with blackened windows to see how we dress these days. Snap pictures of clothing we're ashamed to wear to work so they can sell it back to young, hip, urban professionals who will sue anyone who questions their dress code and personal ethics. We, the dark ones, the brown ones, the red and yellow ones, the Urkel people have made music hip, language slick, song and dance and spirit compelling, yet haven't stood still long enough to thank God for our beauty, our substance, our ability to attract the world to our style. Think we can believe in ourselves the way we believe in our damn shoes and the rituals of our complicated handshakes and embraces and the way we wear our hats. Think we can love our kids the way we love our rhythm and invest in our dreams the way we invest in our churches and medications. They keep on hitting us hard, we keep flowing and driving and moving upstream like salmon against the current. Everybody wants to come to Harlem. Everybody wants to learn how to mumble. And those of us who live there, been there, and done that never take pride in the mere fact that simply being who we are is magnificent. But the day is coming when those who are imitating the imitation will go to the next step of mutation and become truly Americanized. Then those who started this madness, this system of separation, will beg for the Holy Ghost. They're going to become black in spirit and ask the Creator to please make colored people African and compassionate again. Because by then, black and brown street corner men and women will have become white in attitude, Caucasian in behavior, European in spirit, and start to kill anything and everything they fear or desire. Whites are going to shake. They're going to tremble. They're going to prophesize. They're going to speak in tongues, hoping Jesus will save them from the dark ones, from the dark side. And they'll remember their sins, their broken promises, their legacy of pain, of humiliation, of making people feel and act ugly. And some black women, some black men, some politicians in high office who may feel pity and a little ashamed will offer a brief lull in this reign of terror, in order to give their former oppressors a false sense of security, as long as whites buy black products, maybe, eat red beans, maybe, speak Chinese, say yes to Puerto Rican land claims and Lakota Sioux beliefs. But the last shall be first. It is already written. It is already happening. Watch. It's just a matter of time.
That is a member of the Last Poets, Felipe Luciano, with Watch, Watch, Watch. I like threes. Next up on the mic is Franny Choi, and Whiteness Walks into a Bar. Right here, My Hip Hop Perspective Radio.
Whiteness walks into a bar and orders a scotch on the rocks. Bartender's like, anything else? Whiteness is like, oh, can I also get all your resources, political autonomy, and sense of self-worth? Bartender's like, do you want to start a tab? 2. Whiteness walks into a bar and orders an IPA. He gets his drink and then he just starts wrecking shit. He's smashing all the liquor bottles. He pours the wine out onto the floor. He unhooks all of the kegs except for the IPA that he has just ordered. So eventually everyone starts to order that too, since everything else is ruined. Whiteness sits back on a stool, takes a sip of his drink and says, Why is everyone always copying me? 3. Whiteness walks into a bar with a golden retriever. The golden retriever promptly takes a shit on the floor. The bartender's like, what the fuck, Whiteness? Whiteness is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Tone? Meanwhile, the dog has started to run as it shits, spraying wet feces everywhere, and Whiteness is like, you know, if you want me to respect you and your cause, you could try being a little less confrontational. 4. Whiteness walks into a bar and people start to recognize him as the guy who came in last week and stole everyone's wallets. Bartender's like, what the fuck, Whiteness? Whiteness is like, hey, we can't change the past, but you know what? This round's on me. Later, Whiteness writes off the donation on his taxes. Duh. 5. Whiteness walks into a bar and tips over a glass with his elbow. It shatters into a million pieces. Whiteness walks up to the bartender and says, excuse me, it appears that there is glass on the floor. Slowly, everyone in the bar rises to their feet and begins to clap, moved by Whiteness's bravery and honesty. Women throw handkerchiefs at Whiteness's feet. Everyone shakes Whiteness's hand. Whiteness gets offered a TED Talk. Meanwhile, no one notices the janitor sweeping up the glass. No one ever notices the ones doing the real work. 6. Here's the real punchline. Whiteness was always in the bar. Whiteness built the bar. Whiteness owns the bar. Any damage he does to the bar, he's just doing to himself. And Whiteness cannot hurt Whiteness. 7. Whiteness walks in. Whiteness walks in on 80 feet. Whiteness wears a body in small doses. Whiteness uses its 80 mouths to ask me to tell it about itself. So I say, Whiteness, you are a poor substitute for blood. Whiteness, you are a bad joke. Everyone's too uncomfortable to laugh at. Whiteness, I'm laughing in the back of the classroom. I'm throwing your desks out the window. I'm setting fire to the bar. I'm laughing until your legs are small. I'm laughing until your blood is thin. I'm laughing until your throat is parched. I'm laughing until you are small and afraid and wailing on me with your tiny fists. And it's funny, you know. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny. That's a great way to end a poem. Franny Choi doing her thing with Whiteness Walks into a Bar. This is double A1K on WERA 96.7 FM, and this is my Hip Hop Perspective Radio. And this show is the Poetic Speech Cypha Mixtape. Woo! Word! We doing it big like this. Michelle Dye coming up next. She's going to continue the flow with thought-provoking phrases.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Hey, freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom. To the white man in Trump gear with an American flag on his shirt, who thought an appropriate hello was to act out my hanging. Dear fucker, do not mistake my tears for weakness. Do not think the quiver in my voice isn't going to bite back. Don't think the black of me will bend for your whims. I am stronger than the rope you're gesturing. Take one more step towards me, and my black girl magic will drop kick your ass into the ocean, where you have to deal with the ghosts of my people, the ones who are forced to drown for white people's content. Go ahead, greet them like how you did me. Try that shit with their spears. I fucking dare you. Show them your Trump hat, your Trump belt. Tell them, y'all, we gonna make America great again. As if they'll ever see it. I've been told I have to let it go. Give him a hard time like he did to you. Don't let him see that it bothers you. Have thicker skin. Translation: I have been told I have to learn how to swallow the nooses, forget open dialogues because it's just not that important. Apathy can be just as dangerous as lynch mobs with American flags worn like white hoods. This is the racism Texas is already eradicating from our history books, and I don't know why. People are only mad at the Confederate flag. When the nation's flag is made of the same cloth, same colors, same stars, same bodies, America hangs a portrait of death as a symbol of peace that we have achieved. This nation has never been peaceful for black people, our spirits, doomed to hang on a flag as if we are a willing sacrifice. Our blood fills in the corners of the United States, pride and joy like painting by numbers. The American flag be the greatest exhibit America will ever have to offer for a show. It ain't free. We keep having to pay after being stolen in the first place. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose.
Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'cause a winner don't quit on themselves.
Yeah, you got your Trump gear on. Man, she definitely brought it. Wonder what she was thinking. Yo, Motivation, what do you got to say?
This is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what I'm whipping up. This is America. Look at the people, huh? Look how we living, huh? Look how they treating us. This is America, a place where we follow trends before we follow dreams. Stand in line for hours for iPhones and NMDs. Access to enough knowledge to obtain a PhD, but know more about reality TV than we know about the reflection we see when we look in the mirror. It's like we're trying so hard to be like everybody else without a true sense of self. So we regurgitate narratives and rhetoric, use social media as a sedative, post pictures that are repetitive, shun originality so that we can be part of the collective. Neglected is the discovery of our life's purpose. Perspective is only gained when you choose to live your life on purpose. So I suppose this prose from a word pro is apropos to the status quo. But you never know, cause this is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what I'm whipping up. This is America. Look how we living, huh? Look how they living, huh? Look how they treating us. This is America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where you don't have to be in chains to feel like a slave. Now that statement wasn't strictly confined to one's pigmentation or ethnicity, but the synchronicity of some sensitivity is really confusing me. We have some who look at unarmed Americans get gunned down but don't feel sad, but become enraged and mad when athletes kneel at flags, call homosexuals freaks and fags, empower women bitches and hags, and call the cops on blacks just for carrying a grocery bag. I mean, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. I wish we would have heard your cry for help. Then maybe we wouldn't have had to hear your classmates scream for help. Because of the Second Amendment, you get to celebrate your independence like the 4th of July by watching your classmates duck and hide as you let bullets fly. And when asked why, the government and the media deny easy access to guns as possible answers. You see, they avoid the truth because the truth is a chemo to their cancer. So they rather switch the subject and act completely unaware and substitute stricter gun laws for thoughts and prayers. Oh yeah, that's gonna make everything okay. But what do you expect when your government is ran by the NRA, the NRA, the NRA? This is America. Guns in my area. I got a strap, I gotta carry them. This is America. Look at our women, huh? Look how we treating them. Look how we raping them. This is America, where women get treated like second-class citizens and have to yell, "Me too," as though there wasn't enough proof. It's like rape doesn't exist in our nation, despite the celebrity predators ducking and dodging allegations. But because of the fame, we question the claims, and yet we all know the names. From the Weinsteins to the O'Reillys, Bill Cosbys, politicians and lobbies. It's so obvious that it's unjust, but this is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what we whipping up. This is America. Look at our people, huh? Look how we living, huh? Look how they treating us. This is America, a country ran by a bunch of fast fools who pass legislation and make life unhealthy like eating too much fast food. Just a bunch of Big Macs sticking their Burger King, sitting up in their White Castle with their Dairy Queens, giving birth to a bunch of privileged Carl's Jr.'s who grow up to sell lies out of a Pizza Hut while playing dominoes with Papa John's until another Wendy comes along. But despite all of that, I hear a change is coming on. In fact, it's louder than Trump with a trumpet at a Russian collusion summit. It feels like civil rights with women rights and human rights, the LGBT community, immigrant immunity, no left or right buffoonery, only love and understanding between you and me. So let's forget how it used to be. Let's rewrite history and get a breath of fresh air, no Listerine, and we'll make bigotry and ignorance allergic like antihistamine. And that way we won't have to hear dumb shit like what Kanye and Ben Carson said about slavery. We won't be cowards, we'll stand up in our bravery, cause this is America. We are the people, huh? We'll make it equal, huh? We'll make it equal, huh? Cause this is America.
Motivation with This is America. The good, the bad, and the ugly. If we can open our eyes, maybe we can solve our ills. Now, we got Dominique Christina hitting the stage.
For the gathered faithful. For the ones whose blood moves relentlessly on. For the ones who wish to be important and the ones who know they already are. For the ones who crane their necks over the sharp edges of midnight and dream their impossible lives can be fat with a sugared revolution. I know you. I know you've been keeping stars in your eyes, and I know daggers have been at your throats. know you practice the forgetting of fear. To the ones who were never told that they are worthy of every good and perfect thing, because maybe you don't pray to the God you grew up with, or maybe you didn't fall in love with the boy you were supposed to, or in some cases, any boy at all. I know it ain't easy. I know how hard you try to live a life with enough people in it who will look you in the eye and call you by your name. I know you never meant to be so symbolic, so sacrificial, all of you, with your faith that all of this has been a rehearsal, some strange experiment in suffering. Listen, you're not victims, not charity cases, not history's bad luck accidents. So to the holding on ones, the soon and very soon ones, just praise. Praise your body and the way you woke up this morning. Praise the miracle and the mess. Praise the language you were born with and the ones you are learning. Praise the opening of the gates. Praise the child you were and the adult you are becoming. Praise the becoming. Praise the journey. Praise the fight. Praise the wherewithal. Praise the riding of wind without asking permission. Praise. Praise the universe in your rib cage. Praise the trench that taught you about darkness, and praise the day you danced in the light. Praise the laughter that lives in your belly. Praise the gardens you can plant in your bones. Praise the bamboo your spine can become. Praise the stories you kept and the ones you didn't. Praise your resurrection. Praise your fists and the way you do not use them. Praise your fists and the way you know how to use them. Praise your mouth, your wide open mouth for how confessional it is. Your straight back, your unbowed head. Praise the atoms and cells that make your body cathedral. And praise the otherworldly algorithm that is your heart. Especially that. Revolution is the sound of your heart still beating. So praise.
WERA 96.7 FM, My Hip Hop Perspective Radio. Your host, AA1K, bringing you a new style of mixtape. So let's bring a little bit more activism to the mix. Get you some wise words from James Baldwin.
What is relevant about this is that whereas 40 years ago when I was born, the question of having to deal with what is unspoken by the subjugated, what is never said to the master. I remember having to deal with this reality. It was a very remote possibility. It was in no one's mind. When I was growing up, I was taught in American history books that Africa had no history, and neither did I. That I was a savage, about whom the less said the better, who had been saved by Europe and brought to America. And of course, I believed it. I didn't have much choice. Those were the only books there were. Everyone else seemed to agree. If you walk out of Harlem, ride out of Harlem, downtown, the world agrees. What you see is much bigger, cleaner, whiter, richer, safer than where you are. They collect the garbage. People obviously can pay their life insurance. The children look happy, safe. You're not. And you go back home. And it would seem then, of course, that it's an act of God, that this is true, that you belong where white people have put you. It is only since the Second World War that there's been a counter image in the world. And that image not come about through any legislation on the part of any American government, but through the fact that Africa was suddenly on the stage of the world, and Africans had to be dealt with in a way they'd never been dealt with before. This gave an American Negro for the first time a sense of himself beyond a savage or a clown. It has created and will create a great many conundrums. One of the great things that the white world does not know, but I think I do know, is that black people are just like everybody else. One has used the myth of Negro and the myth of color to pretend and to assume that you are dealing essentially with something exotic, bizarre, and practically, according to human laws, unknown. Alas, that is not true. We are also mercenaries, dictators, murderers, liars. We are human too. What is crucial here, unless we can manage to establish some kind of dialogue between those people whom I pretend have paid for the American dream and those other people who have not achieved it, we will be in terrible trouble. I want to say at the end, at the last, is that is what concerns me most. We are sitting in this room and we are all, at least we like to think we are, relatively civilized. And we can talk to each other at least on certain levels. So that we could walk out of here assuming that the measure of our enlightenment, or at least our politeness, has some effect on the world. It may not. I remember, for example, when the ex-Attorney General, Mr. Robert Kennedy, said that it was conceivable that in 40 years in America we might have a Negro president. And that sounded like a very emancipated statement, I suppose, to white people. They were not in Harlem when this statement was first heard, and did not hear, and possibly will never hear, the laughter and the bitterness and the scorn with which the statement was greeted. From the point of view of the man in the Harlem barbershop, Bobby Kennedy only got here yesterday. And now he's already on his way to the presidency. We've been here for 400 years, and now he tells us that maybe in 40 years, if you're good, we may let you become president. What is dangerous here is the turning away from anything any white American says. The reason for the political hesitation in spite of the Johnson landslide is the one that's been betrayed by American politicians for so long. And I'm a grown man, and perhaps I can be reasoned with. I certainly hope I can be. But I don't know, and neither does Martin Luther King, none of us know how to deal with those other people whom the white world has so long ignored, who don't believe anything the white world says, and don't entirely believe anything I or Martin say. And one can't blame them. You watch what has happened to them in less than 20 years. It seems to me that the city of New York, for example, this is my last point, which had Negroes in it for a very long time. If the city of New York were able, as it has indeed been able, in the last 15 years to reconstruct itself, tear down buildings and raise great new ones, downtown and for money, and has done nothing whatever except build housing projects in the ghetto for the Negroes. And of course the Negroes hate it. Presently the property does indeed deteriorate because the children cannot bear it. They want to get out of the ghetto. If the American pretensions were based on a more solid, a more honest assessment of life and of themselves, it would not mean for Negroes, when someone says urban renewal, that Negroes simply going to be thrown out into the streets, which is what it does mean now. It This is not an act of God. We're dealing with a society made and ruled by men. If the American Negro had not been present in America, I am convinced that the history of the American labor movement would be much more edifying than it is. It is a terrible thing for an entire people to surrender to the notion that 1/9 of its population is beneath them. And until that moment, until the moment comes when we, the Americans, we, the American people, are able to accept the fact that I have to accept, for example, that my ancestors are both white and black, that on that continent we are trying to forge a new identity for which we need each other, and that I am not a ward of America. I am not an object of missionary charity. I am one of the people who built the country. Until this moment, there is scarcely any hope for the American dream, because the people who are denied participation in it, by their very presence, will wreck it. And if that happens, it's a very grave moment for the West. Thank you.
Double A1K bringing it to you like this. Yes, my hip-hop perspective radio. We trying something, a little something different, you know what I'm saying? Putting poetry and lyrics over beats. This is just part one. Going to continue on in the next half hour with the Poetic Speech Cypha Mixtape. But first, DJ Khalid has something to say.
You smart. You very smart. We the best. You a genius. I appreciate you. You loyal. I changed a lot. You can too. Win, win, win no matter what. Them doors that was closed, I ripped the doors off and took the hinges off. And when I took the hinges off, I put the hinges in the boy's hands. Yeah, in the boy's hands. You know, I took the whole door off from the hinges and I put it in the boy's hands. You could put the hinges on their hands too. Never give up, never surrender. Put this money in your savings account. Buy your mama a house. Buy your whole family houses. This next part of the video is when you're doing push-ups or you're doing sit-ups, whatever, let's get it. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. And another one.
This is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio.
On WERA 96.7 FM Arlington. Yo, this is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio. I'm Double A1K, and this show is the Poetic Speech Cypha Mixtape. I thought if rappers could have mixtapes and they can also have beefs, and poets are now doing diss poems, why not fill it out by having a poetic mixtape? Ergo, what you're hearing on the radio right now. Got some words of wisdom coming your way. Martin Luther King, what you got to say?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma. America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps, but it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression and as a result of a society that deliberately made his color a stigma and something worthless and degrading.
And basically, I feel like your diet isn't only what you eat, it's what you watch, it's what you read, it's what you listen to, and so I'm mindful of what I ingest. And so basically, there was nothing there that was feeding me. You know what I'm saying? I have a computer, that's enough, and there I can pick and choose what, you know, what feeds me. I didn't have a TV because I wasn't trying to be fed by that. It's like the same way that some people don't eat meat. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of me minding my diet. Like I said, you got to be careful. You have a lot of cats, for example, we go back to MCs. My problem with a lot of MCs is they sound like they only listen to hip-hop because their influence sound like they only listen to each other. That's when I say they could change up the game. If they listen, take a day and discover Rachmaninoff. Take a day and listen to like the unreleased Bob Marley stuff. Take a day and just travel sonically and let that influence how you come back to writing a rhyme. Change your diet is what I'm saying. If your diet is strip clubs, then of course you're only going to rhyme about strip clubs. I'm saying change your diet and watch how it affects your artistry. I didn't have a TV because I was monitoring my diet.
Saul Williams minding his diet and what he allows into his being holistically. WERA 96.7 FM Arlington. Denise Froman sets the stage, creating a new world order.
I heard a woman becomes herself the first time she speaks without permission. Then every word out her mouth a riot. Say beautiful and point to the map of your body. Say brave and wear your skin like a gown or a suit. Say hero and cast yourself in the lead role. When a girl pronounces her own name, there is glory. When a woman tells her own story, she lives forever. If this poem is the only thing that survives me, tell them this is how I happened. Tell them I built me a throne. Tell them when we discovered life on another planet, it was a woman, and she built a bridge, not a border. I heard this is how you make history. This is how you create a new world.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm black.
But I'm not.
This is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio.
I'm black, but I'm not hypermasculine.
But I'm not aggressive.
I'm not ghetto.
I'm not violent.
I've never been in a fight in my life.
I'm black.
I'm black.
I'm black, but I'm not an exotic fetish.
But I'm not on welfare.
But I'm not pretty for a black girl.
But I'm not from the hood.
But I'm not a piece of chocolate. I'm a human. I'm black, but I'm not lazy.
A thug.
I'm educated.
I have a few college degrees, actually.
I'm black, but I'm not trying to act white when I speak properly. This is just how I talk.
That doesn't mean you have to use the N-word around me.
But I'm not concerned with being your definition of black. I'm not interested in having you touch my hair.
But I'm not good at twerking.
I'm not gonna rob you.
I'm not leeching off the system.
But my blackness is not the same as someone else's.
I'm black and I'm dope.
I'm black and I love to dance. I can't dance, but I'm okay with that.
I'm black and I'm angry sometimes. And I'm more than just my race. And I'm positive about our future. And I'm smart.
And I went to private school.
And I'm the owner of a master's degree. And I'm really funny.
I'm a nerd.
And I'm an actor.
I take style very seriously.
And I'm a poet.
I'm a writer.
And I love anime. I'm black and I'm from Brooklyn. I'm black and I'm white as well.
And I love knitting. Have y'all tried knitting? And I'm from a beautiful two-parent home.
And I was raised by a single mother.
And I'm so proud of her.
And I don't use the N-word. And I'm a feminist.
I'm black and I'm bisexual.
And I have mental health issues.
But I work through them every single day.
I'm black and I'm dark-skinned and I love it.
And I'm proud of my curly hair.
And I'm learning to love myself more every day.
I'm black. I'm black.
I'm black.
And I'm proud.
And I'm proud.
I'm black and I'm hella proud.
Yo, blackness is not monolithic. It does not fit the stereotypes many have of it and of its people. Blackness is made up of all tribes, cultures, and ethnicities. Blackness is human, and it's humane. We are collectively a people that care about others.
How has art saved your life?
If tonight is the last night you plan on breathing, if the weight of the world is so heavy on your shoulders, the only place you can see to lay down this burden is a grave, If you are so tired of existence that you want to put yourself into an eternal rest, I'm sorry I couldn't make this life more livable for you. But before you go, can I ask you one thing? When you pick up the pen to write a suicide note, write a poem instead. About all the things you love and all the things that love you, write a poem. Turn the pain into prose and see how quickly the end becomes a new beginning. Write a poem like your life depends on it, because sometimes it does. I too have known nights on bathroom floors with blood and tears spilling so quickly I do not know which one I'll run out of first. No praying to gods I stopped believing in a long time ago, that if they were real, they would help me. No looking death in the face and inviting him home for dinner like a long lost friend I couldn't wait to get reacquainted with, but I've also known salvation. Know that if the words of your demons can end your life, then words of hope can save it. No matter how deep of a hole you think you've dug yourself into, even when holding on to life feels like grasping for air, your lungs can't even keep inside of it. Reach your hand out for a lifeline, and I'll give you a pen. And tell you that poetry is the pathway to survival that you never saw coming, and ain't I a testament to that? Because I am still standing after depression has brought me to my knees. After I have asked God more times to end my life than I have thanked him for giving me it, and ain't that a blessing? To survive, even when your own body has tried to kill you. To hold healing in your hand and know it well. And it gets hard sometimes because I can't remember how to be a person, much less a poet. But being a poet isn't always about pretty prose. Some days, it is just about being alive. Hell, most days, it is just about being alive here. In this place where I've seen so many resurrected, I almost call it holy, call it magic. So let me spellbind you survival, put down the razor. Don't spill blood, spill ink. Write a poem across your wrists and thighs and show everyone your scars and your story, and tell them that this is survival, this is hope, this is life through language. And never forget how hard it was to get here, to turn your back on your demons. But if the pen is mightier than the sword, then it is mightier than any mental illness that has tried to kill you. So tonight, don't write me a suicide note. Put a period where there could be a comma. Write me a survivor story. And I promise you'll be here tomorrow.
The last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. Said, put the straw down. No, I don't want to take another line. I should be writing them. My friend, you are a composer of music and magic. Instruct your limbs to serve a purpose greater than self-indulgence. Do not be fooled into thinking your pain has sharper teeth than anyone else's. I had a chance, but said nothing because I was high. This is how I got started. A ball of Jack and a mirror. Memories and scissors. Dreams drenched in ether, sliced by razors. Potential rolled like $20 bills, numbing the feeling on the tip of my tongue that I, or this tongue, should be serving a greater purpose. In a last-ditch attempt at self-assessment, I decided to look at my life through the eyes of loved ones, for they see everything, especially the ugly. From years of drug use, from lying with to lying to angels, friends I had forsaken, taking so much more than I had given. I had streamlined self-centeredness into a science. But there was righteousness there, a willingness to craft these ills through alchemy and poetry into a seer stone. But honestly, how could I speak ugly to you when I was yet to speak it to myself? In these nightmares of hindsight, there is no poetry, no alliterations to soften the blow. Some realities have no simile. Truth is like truth. How could I form my lips to call your suicide a tragedy when I left you alone in that room, kept company by narcotics and 1,000 ghosts draped in your disappointments? I can only imagine all the voices you heard, all but mine. Smear makeup onto disgust if you must trust. The truth is seldom pretty, but she is always beautiful. It is in times like these that I need you to please talk ugly to me. My pain needs it. Too many times we caress sadness when it needs to be shaken, torn from its place of comfort, forced to grow wings to survive or die. Don't just tell me I can grow up and be whatever I want. Tell me that whatever I want better be something I'm willing to achieve, that dreams will dissipate under the weight of addiction, and that there is a distinct difference between living like a rock star and actually being one. Sometimes, no matter how many poems you've written, you're just a cokehead and a poser. Fear not. We are all divinely flawed individuals, perfectly ugly. There's no point hiding behind pretty lies. We are the sum of the hideous scars that hold together the remainder of our pretty pieces. The last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. It would have been the most beautiful thing I never said.
This is My Hip Hop Perspective Radio.
We started off with Anaya Smith with Healing and Joseph LMS Green with Ugly.
I'm straight.
I'm gay.
I'm bisexual.
And I give a damn about equality.
Wanna know why?
Because one hate crime is committed approximately every hour of every day in this country.
Imagine walking down the street and wondering if this is the day you'll get beaten up or even killed simply because of who you are.
Because many gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender teens who come out to their parents are thrown out of their homes.
Imagine confiding in the people you trust most, only to be rejected and tossed out with no place to go.
Because during the past 16 years, over 13,000 men and women have been discharged from the military for being gay.
Imagine being willing to sacrifice your life to protect and defend this country, only to be kicked out of the military because of who you love.
These are just a few of the reasons why we care about equality.
It is time for things to change.
We all have to get involved.
We all have to give a damn.
I give a damn.
Do you?
Yo, I do, and Ruby Ibarra has some bars of wisdom for YOU right here on WERA 96.7 FM.
There is a word that my 5-year-old niece doesn't know exists. It's something she doesn't battle with and it's never escaped her lips. It's a 4-letter, 1-syllable, simple word, hate. Yet it carries so much historical, political, emotional weight. They shaped our beliefs, changed what we see, and made us envy. It's made us blind to truth, to find an excuse, cause lies and abuse, so our minds can't choose. Designed so we lose control of reality, lose trust and lose ourselves. Like poisonous gas that wraps around our lungs so we can't breathe or yell for help. So she asks me, what is hate? It's made men turn on each other, cock the gun and hold at gunpoint. It's made scapegoats so we blame folks for our faults while our fingers point. It's made innocent lives grow closed eyes while enclosed in a mask of lies. By making teenage girls cry because their body size will never suit your eyes. It's made us wish we were someone else. Forced us into plastic surgery, so erasing cultural history and urge of ideal imagery. Our burglar row and identity. It's tricked us into believing that we're too fat, too ugly, and not white enough. It racially profiles have forced people to sit in the back of the bus. It's made men call women bitches, who in turn call other women bitches. It's burned bridges to the point where we don't know which is wrong or right. It's made us colorblind, only seeing black and white. Planting racism and bigotry, promoting racial tensions and fights. Again, she asks me, what is hate? It's taught 18-year-old boys how to use a gun while on the same field stands 5-year-old children who are taught to shoot someone. It's made victims of abusive fathers do the same to their own daughters. It's made men boost their masculinity by exploiting another's femininity. It's built glass ceilings, internment camps, nooses and not allowed signs. It's raised narrow-minded babies who maybe they'll never see past their own kind. It controls the schools and media through propaganda, teaching us the enemy when we don't question or raise our hand up. Still she asks me, what is hate? It's caused school shootings, injustice, rape, and genocide. It's made innocent lives die and innocent mothers and wives cry. It screams of words, fuck you, bitch, stupid, and no homo. It's a KKK logo, it's a history book's photo. It's written Jim Crow laws, Indian removal, and Asian exclusion acts. It's enslaved our past, while engraves a cage in our path. It's made categories and fears appear, making us wish for nothing, making syllabus to clear the mirrors, by end of fear. It's 500 years of slavery when oppression, parents failing to give their children direction. It's confessions behind closed doors of elections the politicians never mention. It's literacy prevention, a Filipino veteran offension, stereotypes when dimension, character inventions, all being fucked by white supremacy's erection. So what is hate? It's something that my 5-year-old niece can't feel. For her, it's a man-made social construct, so it isn't real. It's an empty word
insignificant, powerless, and nameless. Now I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to follow, so we don't know what hate is. Let's no longer know what hate is.
Man, Ruby. Yo, that sister's got some skills. I mean, SKILL to the S type of skills. Rocking it. So in the context of what she was bringing up, let's not know hate anymore. You in agreement with me on that? I hope so. Word. Yo, next coming to the stage, coming to the mic, coming before you, coming over the airwaves is my man from the RVA, Douglas Roscoe Burnham's dropping knowledge with Agnostic. Time to get it in, y'all.
My mother has a heart full of batteries. An active morning leaves her drained, leaves her out of breath. She stays plugged into her bed through most of the afternoon, and recharging most days takes all evening. She uses these moments to read scripture and talk to Jesus. My mother owes her life to her faith, but often asks me to take her to church on Sundays. She remembers all the times she's died, when resurrection has been a defibrillator laying hands on her. She thanks God for all the transformations, never the doctors. I recently watched a documentary about how often religious text gets doctored, how holy books undergo transformations. I read a lot about scripture, found there are 14,800 differences between the original Bible and its modern version, that there's no mention of Christ's return in its earliest rendition, that the similarities between Christianity and Egyptology are uncanny, and most religious holidays linked to Christ are pagan and have nothing to do with Christ at all. With all this, I became agnostic, not atheist. I didn't choose to believe in nothing, not that there's anything wrong with that. I just chose to stop looking through the pigeonhole that is religion. Felt a huge word like God is too big to put in a chapter book. I use terms like the universe now, and I don't pray, I meditate, and I figure if Jesus, Muhammad, and Moses didn't need a Bible, Quran, or Torah, then maybe I should follow suit. Now, at one point, I felt like I had to educate my mother on everything that I had learned. All the translations, religious fear-mongering, the origin of Satan, and since then, my mother has stopped asking me to take her to Sunday service. Says that she's praying for me, never really says what she's praying for. She thinks I'm an atheist, she's never heard the word agnostic. I had come to think there were 14,800 differences between my mother and me. But when the surgeon said that there was no mention of her return, I responded with scripture, "O ye of little faith." Realize the similarities between her and I are uncanny. That the little bit of gospel I have inside is pagan and has nothing to do with Christ at all. It was after watching coma and cardiac arrest leave her chest split like a Red Sea. After watching cancer be a nail in our family's palm, and every man in her life be one Judas after another. These things made me doubt the Lord. Overcoming them made her believe in God more. Now maybe she's blind, or maybe I'm blind, or maybe faith is about being blind and trusting everything that you feel. I mean, she calls it God, but I call it the universe. I mean, she found it in a book, but I found it in her. Look, I've learned too much about the Bible to always believe in it. She's gone through too much in life not to. My mother passes down the same Bible she swears kept her alive. I'ma read that shit all the way through one day if they add a chapter about my mother. Look, I'm agnostic, not atheist. There are times I've seen too much to believe in God, but I've watched my mother beat God too much not to believe something.
Coming to the stage right now, bringing fire, bringing the heat, bringing true self-identity, Kamisha Jones with her poem, Said the Straightening Chemicals to the Natural Hair.
Said the straightening chemicals to the natural hair. Relax. Just lay yourself flat. Tame. Don't roar, just purr. You the biggest cat in this here, so your teeth just too menacing to be in the show. Unwind. Your curl just complicates things. Tangles up the story we'd prefer that you tell. Just surrender. Don't stand yourself up too tall, too proud. Just swing. Sway like all the cares in the world ain't yours, like black bodies in the wind at a Sunday church picnic. Bend like a tree, too heavy with weight. It's just a little lie. No one wants to see the bones buried beneath, so chill. There's no shame in being manageable. So lay yourself limp across the lovely shoulders of assimilation. You be the best blanket for all the brainwash. No one is coming for you. So turn down all that volume to a whisper. Strip away all that Negro, all that Africa. Trade it for something more normal, you know, more American, more conquered and exploited for all its riches.
Hey, Hanif Willis Abdurrahim, I know you got something to say.
Michelle Obama loves punk rock music. Rolls her eyes whenever Barack picks yet another Stevie Wonder standard to stroll out to during campaign stops. Would appreciate the irony in coming out to a Dead Kennedy song, though the rest of the country likely would not. She turns it up loud on the lonely mornings, lets it pogo off every wall of the Red Room until everything becomes a murder scene of expensive portraits and smiles so forced you could press charges on them. She sings along to the Clash's I'm So Bored with the USA over her morning cereal. Shit, back in 77, the Clash just called that shit I'm So Bored with You. Michelle Obama does not know this. Even if she did, she would still sing about how bored she is with the USA. When her daughter's Captain Crunch cuts the roof of her mouth, as it is wont to do, the blood always builds entire neighborhoods back there. She never spits it out. She calls it Southside Chicago, and it is the toughest thing for her to swallow every day. Michelle Obama loves the taste of her own blood. Would eat Captain Crunch 3 meals a day if it could remind her of home long enough to make her feel invincible. Wraps her brass knuckles in strips of Jackie Kennedy's White House portrait and puts them in her purse for when she leaves. Wonders what it must be like to watch pieces of your husband slide down the back of a midnight blue Lincoln like it's an amusement park ride. Sends frantic emails to Hillary in all caps that say, "Goddamn woman, how did you survive it all? What's a girl got to do to get a smoke around here?" Hillary forwards those to Bill. Bill never gets a joke. Music fact. Jackie Kennedy once said the last thing to cross her mind before her husband's mind crossed her lap after 6.5 millimeters of New America turned her to the prettiest widow in East Texas was how nice Red Roses for me. London-based punk band The Pogues named their debut album Red Roses for me. Even put a picture of JFK on the cover. Good kids, pretty good album. Michelle Obama does know this, thinks it's the best album, prefers Sunflowers to Roses. Sunflowers big enough to hide behind. Some days doesn't listen to the Dead Kennedys at all, but turns up The Pogues loud enough to scrape racists out of Dallas clock towers. Rolls over next to Barack some nights and says, "Baby, they don't make music like they used to." Still has the taste of blood in her mouth when she double dutches with Southside girls who rotate rope swings at her neck like blades at the end of a hand mixer. Michelle Obama has a great voice, you know. Could blow the roof off this motherfucker like Whitney Clean, you know. Screams things into pillows that could turn American flags upside down on homes in Northern Virginia. She does all of this before noon. It scares the dog.
My hip-hop perspective, and this show is the Poetic Speech Cypha Mixtape. Yo, taking me out of here tonight is a poetic banger by Miss Angelique Palmer. You need to strap in and take it in. Her poem, Passive Voice, WERA.
Got you. After Lucille Clifton, won't you come celebrate with me what I've shaped into a kind of life? I had no model, born in Babylon, both non-white and woman. Witness, all I have survived, how each thing has teeth, lungs, eyes, how all of them assassins of poor aim, how all of them left the way they came. Come see. My molesters as monsters, my bullies, their bruises, my childhood made a pitfall, tried, failed, come see. My poverty like a gut punch, anorexia like to swallow the whole of me, daddy issues, come, they failed. Come see. My alcoholism, my low self-esteem, my rapist and his ghost failed. The black men who would ignore the glory that is this black and strong and woman who only use me for targets for their jabs or their guns failed. And if I'm truthful, it is my mind that has come the closest. So I don't need you to end me. I was born equipped with everything I need to kill me, so I contain everything I need to survive this, to survive you. How you brought your petty to my pen game and failed. Stand me in front of a mirror, I'll strike a pose. Sit me in front of my demons, I'll lick his nose. Show me a clock or a calendar, I will show you my growth. And once provoked, I will find a way to eviscerate the real work of me ain't done. You think you can tell my story better than I can? No. Stand in front of me and spit shit you ain't lived? No. You think you could character assassinate me in a silence? No. No. Until you do right by me, you will have an infinite amount of Mama Lucille's chiming leg grinding into your soul. Come, celebrate with me that everything has tried to kill me. And it is just another Friday.
This is my hip hop perspective.